Sala Communication Credit Union.
Okay. Now, how did you first become involved with the association?
It's not commonly known, but I was actually employed by the association for the first 6 months of my involvement with credit unions, and that was through the old Savings Protection Fund that were underwriting the then losses of the credit union. And over that period, of course, the association dedicated very substantial resources to the rehabilitation of the credit union, both in manpower and also in liquidity support. We took the view that by lending aggressively, we would quickly change the perception that there was a problem with the credit union. I think that that was a very satisfactory strategy.
And any credit union in particular that you were helping out at that time?
No, that was Communication Credit Union.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one you're with now?
Correct.
Okay. Now you've been elected as director on the national body.
Correct.
Cuscal?
Cuscal, yeah.
What are your plans as a director on the national body?
My plans, well, I guess the transition period is very, very important. And if I have plans, is to ensure that there's continuity in services to credit unions over that transition period, and of course to ensure that the commitments we made in the recommendations for project renewal are carried out in a reasonably short period.
Good. You've been tipped to be the chairman of the organisation. How do you feel about that?
I don't know what the odds are, but I'd be prepared to have some money on the fact that that won't happen.
Okay. I understand Australia's credit unions have had the strongest growth since 1986 in this last year, when total assets grew by 13% to 8.7 million.
Mm-hmm.
How relevant do you see that with this ongoing development to a national body, and how helpful do you think that will be for credit unions in Australia?
Well, I think the growth that we've seen in the past 18 months has really been a result of a lot of dissatisfaction by customers of banks and building societies making the move to credit unions, and unrelated to any of the structural changes that we're about to put into place.
Okay. And what criteria should a credit union use to determine the effectiveness of the association services?
Well, personally, I would adopt different criteria for different types of services provided by the association. Broadly speaking, in the trade association activities, I would say the criteria by which that is judged is really by looking at the environment, the trading environment that credit unions operate in, and how much influence those activities have over that environment. And I say that in all its manifestations, be it in the legislative and regulatory areas, and public relations, and the way the public generally perceive credit unions. On the other hand, in business services, I would say that the whole notion of business services is that the volumes are aggregated by credit unions to their price advantage, or to their advantage in terms of price. So the important criteria that I'd place on those would be the delivery of consistent services, good quality services at economical prices.
Mm-hmm. Good. And if I could get you to tell me how significant do you think centralised banking is for credit union movement?
I think it's the lifeblood for credit unions. There's no escaping the fact that if you didn't have some mechanism which gave you the liquidity support and the things that central banking provide, almost everything else is irrelevant. I think that's almost a starting point for the credit union movement.
Good, good. And we'll just get you to close by saying the slogan, why bank when you can credit union?
Why credit union?
Why bank when you can credit union?
Yeah, why bank when you can credit union?
Good.
Slide edit.
Terrific.